Welcome to another edition of Get Woke with Danielle Moody. All right, friends. Lord Jesus, we have made it to Saturday. If you are watching this as it drops, which is a wonderful feat given the kind of fuckery we swam through this week. My God, the hurricane of lies, the absolute sane washing that we have experienced in mainstream media of Donald Trump's latest racist rants. Folks, it has been a lot. So let's get into it. First up, the fucking New York Times. Man, I just don't know what is happening over there. But what I do know is that Donald Trump recently went on right-wing MAGA lunatic show, Hugh Hewitt, where he talked about bad genes. And no, we are not talking about Levi's or Wranglers. No, we are talking about Donald Trump and eugenics and talking about how there are people that are being let into this country or people that are already here that just have bad genes.
She wants to go into government housing. She wants to go into government feeding. She wants to feed people. She wants to feed people governmentally. She wants to go into a communist party type system. When you look at the things that she proposes, they're so far off. She has no clue. How about allowing people to come through an open border, 13,000 of which were murderers? Many of them murdered far more than one person, and they're now happily living in the United States. You know, now a murderer, I believe this, it's in their genes, and we got a lot of bad genes in our country right now.
Now, folks, this goes in tandem with his poisoning the blood of the nation comments that he has said about immigrants. It goes into they're eating the dogs and they're eating the cats. And now these people have bad genes, right? Murderous genes, as he went on to say. What's wild, though, is not the fact that Donald Trump continues to reveal his racism to us every time that he opens up his mouth. No, it is that legacy mainstream media, like the New York Times, continue to absolutely sane wash his statements. And just take a look at this headline. Yeah. Instead of talking about the fact that Donald Trump is using Nazi eugenics speak to talk about immigrants in this country, no. They said Trump continues to talk about his obsession with genes. What? That's not at all what is happening here. And much in the same way that the New York Times did a story on Hitler in Home and Garden section during the 1930s, because he likes to take long constitutionals. This is the same shit that they are doing with Donald Trump in the 21st century, and it is disgusting. Instead of alerting people to what they should be terrified of, which is his obsession, not with genes, folks, but with eugenics. His obsession, right, with white supremacy, and that being alarming. This is what they are doing instead. It is hurting us. And if he wins the election, well, all bets will be off. While we're on the topic of Donald Trump, let's talk about the hurricane of lies that he has been propagating since the start of the 2 weeks of devastation that has pummeled the state of Florida and North Carolina and other regions. I am talking about Hurricane Helene and Hurricane Milton. Both of these hurricanes are products not of what Marjorie Taylor Greene likes to think of as man-made storms. They're not products of what I played earlier this week on the Danielle Moody show of the government seeding clouds. No. They are the product of climate change. And the fact that climate scientists told us what would happen if we did not take the warming of our climate and the warming of our oceans seriously. That the storms that we face would get worse very quickly. What did we see with Hurricane Milton? We saw Hurricane Milton go from a tropical depression to a Category 5 hurricane in less than 24 hours because it hit incredibly warm waters. This ignorance being led by the Republican Party with their just denialism of climate change, but now the lies that they are spreading when people have lost their homes, their livelihood, they are weaponizing people's trauma against them and making an even worse situation unimaginably tragic. Why? Because they're telling people don't accept the emergency $750 aid that can put gas in your car, food in your belly, get you some temporary shelter, because if you do, they'll take your home. It is a lie. And it is a lie that is hurting people. But MAGA doesn't care. Donald Trump doesn't care, so long as he can score political points. What we know is that these storms are going to get worse, not because they are seeded, not because they are man-made, but because the crisis that we are living in is man-made. The crisis of climate change is entirely man-made and can be stopped because there are solutions. But we're too busy debating with idiots about whether or not what we are seeing with our eyes and hearing with our ears actually exists. And for that reason, we saw this week meteorologists receive death threats for simply telling people about the weather and the climate and what is happening. Death threats. Scientists, teachers, doctors. Anytime that MAGA doesn't like to be faced with the truth, what they do is threaten violence. And that is what Donald Trump has done over the last 9 years. You know what else Donald Trump has done? During the height of COVID, thousands of Americans are dying every day. Bodies are being put in refrigerated trucks. People are dying alone without being able to say goodbye to their loved ones. Hospitals are begging for the scientific equipment that they need in order to test. Donald Trump sent that material, the PPEs, testing, to Vladimir Putin, who confirmed this week that that was indeed true. What does JD Vance say in response to that? So what? So what if it's true? What's wrong with talking with leaders? What's wrong with, diplomacy? Diplomacy? Miss me with the bullshit. What's wrong with it is that when you're not the president of the United States and you're interfering with global affairs, that is treasonous. It is not something that should be accepted or applauded. But I'm telling you, this fun house of mirrors, this house of horrors, this alternate reality that the Republican Party is constructing is meant to confuse, distort, and anger us into shrugging our shoulders and just accepting whatever it is that they lay out for us, because there's no combating the fire hose of lies that they are spreading. It is extraordinary. But the thing that I will end on today is this. Barack Obama has hit the campaign trail. I love when this man is on the campaign trail because he brings sense back, right? He reminds us just by his sheer presence, but definitely by his oration, where we once were before Donald Trump came down that escalator. How we were a country of yes, we can, when times were good for all people. I want you to take a look and a listen to what former President Barack Obama said on the campaign trail.
If Donald Trump does not care that a mob might attack his own vice president, do you think he cares about you? Pennsylvania, we do not need 4 more years of that. We don't need 4 more years of arrogance and bumbling and bluster and division. America's ready to turn the page. We are ready for a better story, one that helps us work together instead of turning against each other. Pennsylvania, we're ready for a President Kamala Harris.
That's it, folks. It is up to us. And before I get out of here, I have my woke woman of the week. And that woke woman of the week is Deanne Criswell, the head of FEMA, who has been doing the impossible job of getting her field agents out into areas like Asheville, North Carolina, out into places like Tampa and Orlando and other parts of Florida and other states that have been devastated and impacted by these extraordinarily dangerous and huge hurricanes. Her people are facing threats as they are trying to be on the ground and helping people. They are facing a web of disinformation and just outright lies. But she is doing her job in trying to help people recover and regain their livelihoods. So for that reason, and for telling the truth, for getting out there, combating the lies, Deanne Criswell is my woke woman of the week. Friends, as always, if you are loving the content and these episodes and joining me Monday through Thursday on the Danielle Moody Show live 5 p.m. Eastern, please do like and subscribe. You help the algorithm give us a boost, and you also help independent media do what it needs to do in order to reach as many people as possible. I appreciate each and every one of you. Tell me who I should be keeping my eye on next week for the Woke Woman of the Week. I appreciate you all so very much. As always, power to the people and to all the people power. Get woke, stay sane, and in these trying times, my friends, stay safe. See you again soon.